Hi again, everybody. I'm Jamie Allison, and this is Boats, Beers, and Backroads. And today we've got a real special guest. He's one of the most exciting young voices in country music. A lot of people first discovered Lucas Mason when people saw him join country superstar Zach Bryan on stage. That video exploded online. I think over 15 million views. So lots of people got exposed to his music. Since then, he's been creating a lot of momentum, performing at major festivals like the Misty City Music Festival, North of Nowhere, a bunch of other things, and also at the Horseshoe, I think, which is in Toronto, a legendary place to play, which is really cool. And he's getting ready to release a debut album at the same time, so we could talk about that. But first of all, Lucas, I know you've got a schedule of kind of going out and playing through the summer, so thanks for taking a little bit of time with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on, Jamie.
Yeah, no worries. So before we get into kind of the stuff that you're doing right now, why don't we go back a little bit? And you're still young, so like back a little bit isn't that far, I guess.
Yeah.
But why don't we talk a little bit about? I know you came from kind of a musical family. What was it like, and how much did that kind of connect you into something that you're obviously doing in a pretty major way now?
Yeah, for sure. So, ever since I was maybe like 6 years old, I've been putting piano lessons. I was playing piano for a while. And it all started because my mom was a music teacher. Oh, she is a
Mhm.
music teacher, and
Yeah.
she used to be a singer as well. And she still sings on the side a little bit, but she used to take it a little more like seriously. And so she just wanted our family to get into music. So she put me and my brothers in piano lessons. I got two older brothers.
Mhm.
And then my one older brother started playing guitar, and then that kind of inspired me to pick up the guitar, maybe when I was like 12. And then around like grade 8, I started singing a little bit, but I was the only one out of my brothers who really got into singing
Yeah.
until about 2 years ago when I formed a band and started playing original music and covers. And I got my brother in my band, actually, the one who's a bit more musical, who's playing guitar, and he's singing backgrounds now. So now I'm not the only one singing, but yeah, now me and my brother in a band together, and my mom's still a music teacher, and yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah. And was there a time, I know that you kind of do school at the same time and everything too. Is there a time where you were, wow, I could do this more as, not just a hobby thing that you do. Was there something that struck you as, wow, this could be, something bigger than that?
It was probably after I went on stage with Zach Bryan, because I really hadn't done much before that, and
Yeah.
then after that happened, I had like some of the biggest record companies reaching out to me and stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, like this could actually turn into something where I'm not doing like a regular job for the rest of my life if I really
Yeah.
take this seriously now. But again, I didn't have any original music written after the Zach Bryan thing, so I had to take a step back and take a couple years here to really define what I want to release instead of just getting other people to write music for me and then just releasing whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, I wanted to like really build something that was authentic. So taking a step back, and it's like I was at like the peak of like the virality and everything, and now I've got to go back to the start and work myself up like every other artist has to.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for that though, because I'm really like starting to be proud of the music that I'm making.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll talk about a few of those because I think some of the stuff off your that you're kind of slowly releasing now. I mean, some really good stuff. Maybe just to stay on the Zach Bryan thing for a second because I guess that obviously was a big launch pad for you. But what
Yeah.
was that experience like? Because for people who maybe haven't been to a Zach Bryan concert or something, I mean that's a large concert. It's obviously a big deal to get on stage even to be able to play in front of that many people. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was really surreal, and it's kind of just like a whirlwind. It's like something that you don't even remember doing, but you see the videos of it, and you're like, "Oh, I did that!" Because you get up there, and it was like a flash, and then it was over. Because
Yeah,
I got up there, played the song, and then I barely had any words with him. He just said, "Good job," and he gave me his guitar,
yeah,
which was pretty sweet. So,
right.
and then I just got off the stage and went home, and then it was kind of just figuring out what to do with the aftermath after that. But it was at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and it was like sold out, 20,000 or so.
Yeah,
It was crazy,
yeah, yeah.
insane.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing experience and obviously helped you from that end too. But obviously, songwriting is a big part of what you are doing and do now. So country music in particular, and that folk kind of music that you play, is really based on the songwriting portion of it as well. So what kind of experiences are you using to be able to kind of tell stories like that? Because that's sometimes the hardest part for people is, how do you put that into words and make it a really compelling song? What's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started songwriting, I would look at people like Zach Bryan and Tyler Childers and people I was inspired by, and they'd be writing about, how their mom passed away or their
Yeah.
sister was a drug addict and like all of these like really bad things, and I'm like, oh, my life's actually pretty good. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to, and I don't want to fake it, so it's hard to find something, but I finally figured out a way to like make like a normal life seem interesting because normal lives are interesting and you don't need to have all these traumatic things or need to have all these big things happen to you to have a compelling story. So I've just been looking at like my latest song I wrote that I'm gonna release on June 19th called "Stay" is really just about a time that me and my girlfriend went to an old like cottage cabin in Norfolk, like an Airbnb in Norfolk, Ontario,
Yeah.
and it was just like such an escape from I was in like grade 12 biology at the point, and I was dealing with all this aftermath of the Zach Bryan thing, and I was so overwhelmed with life. It was just such an escape from the rest of it, and just playing guitar by the campfire, just enjoying nature, connecting with each other on a relationship level, and just not worrying about anything else. And that's what it's about. And it's like it's such a simple thing, but it's such a beautiful thing as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I know that song. I think you just played it recently somewhere, and you really had the audience already singing it back to you and things. That's got to be pretty cool. When first of all, for them to do that at a nice venue, but it hasn't even been released generally yet, other than just with you kind of singing it online and things, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I did a trick there at that show. But I just wanted to try. I was gonna say I was opening for a guy named Joe Jordan at
Hmm.
the Drake Underground in Toronto, and I'm like, okay, if the crowd's really listening, because sometimes when you're an opener, the crowd just talks and they don't
Yeah,
listen to you. If the crowd's really listening, I'm gonna try this. So the crowd was really listening. They were like one of the best crowds I've ever played for in my life,
mhm,
and then I said, hey guys, do you want to try something? And then I just taught them the chorus because it's just 3 words. It's just
yeah,
stay a while,
yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, let's try singing it, and they sang it with me, and it was beautiful. They were yeah, a wonderful crowd.
Yeah, yeah, very, very cool. And at a place like the Drake Underground, I mean, that must be interesting to be able to kind of go to all these kind of legendary places to be able to play. I mean, you get to play at lots of different things, I'm sure, but going to places like, the Horseshoe, for you, I
Yes.
mean, I don't. Do you feel the history when you're in a place like that, or is it? I mean, it's different. I mean, you're a younger guy, so do you see that and kind of feel that when you're in those places?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like the horseshoe was like a big one,
Yeah.
right? Because Bob Cajun's got that whole story about the night in Toronto and
Yep.
and all that, and but even you look at the wall in the green room, and it's like signed by like the Rolling Stones
Yeah.
and just like big bands like that, and I'm like, wow, I'm sitting in this room that all of these like major bands and like Tragically Hip, one of the best Canadian bands of all time as well. I've sat in and played on this little stage. It's not a big place, but it's so legendary. Yeah.
Yeah. And it hasn't really changed much. I mean, for those people who haven't been there in a while, it still feels like that kind of old historical place. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So let's talk about, yeah, I mean, you've got Stay. I know one of the other songs that you had is Tethered.
Mhm.
So why don't we talk about that one a little bit too? Because that's one that I think is interesting considering what you've been going through the last little while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that song, how that song came about, and what it's about for those people who haven't listened yet?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It's kind of about the struggle of trying to make it as an artist
Yeah.
and or any artist. It doesn't really not a musical artist. If you're chasing a passion, if you want to be a professional basketball player, or if you want to be a painter, or if you want to be a musical artist, you're going against the grain of society, and people will look at you differently, and they'll judge you for it, and you'll also judge yourself for it. You'll always think that you're not doing a good enough job, or you could do better. which I mean sometimes is true, but you put your heart into it and it kind of just wears and tears on your mental health a little bit, and that's kind of what that song's about. It's about
Yeah.
how I fell in love with the music from a really young age. I was listening to like Mumford and Sons album Babel in my
Yeah.
dad's car when I was young with him, and I just fell in love with music. And then after the Zach Bryan thing, I started songwriting, and it just became like an addiction to the point where it's like I want this so bad, where I'm even tearing up some not tearing up but putting some bad omens on some relationships and stuff, with like I'm not hanging out with my friends as much as I used to, or
Yeah.
uh not talking to my family or my girlfriend as much as I always do. Like if I'm like locked in writing something, I'm turned off my phone, I'm not talking to anybody. So one night in like September, I just went in my basement at like, I don't know, past midnight at some point, and I wrote that song in like an hour just straight. And yeah, no, it's really special to me. But it's about like kind of just saying you're not alone struggling in this. There's lots of people. You might feel like you're the only one struggling chasing your passion, but there's lots of people struggling with this as well.
Yeah. And what's that like? Is it different for you to play your own songs in front of people versus, doing a cover of like maybe a Zach Bryan song or something like that, which I'm sure, connects with the audience quickly because they realize it. But over time, what's that like when it's your song you get to sing to other people and they make that connection with it?
Yeah, it's really enjoyable to sing your own songs because it's like it's something that you yourself poured your heart into, and it's a piece of art that you made that you're sharing. I mean, anybody can sing a cover who's got a really good voice,
Yeah.
and that's so fun too. But when you have somebody genuinely connecting to something that you personally wrote, it feels like a genuine connection between you and that person. When somebody's singing back a cover, it's like, oh yeah, they like that song, that's awesome, and they like my performance. But this is like they like your art, and the piece of you that you're sharing with the world, people are accepting that, and it's a really beautiful thing.
When you write songs, do you do the music first? Do you do the song first? How do you start your process?
Um, and a lot different than a lot of other people. I mean, especially like, folks in Nashville, I think a lot of them have like song titles written out, or like, okay, we're gonna write a song about this. Let's go. I kind of just pick up the guitar. I start strumming. So I get some chords first. It's like if I'm in a happy mood or a sad mood, minor or major key, that sort of thing. And I just say whatever the first word is. So I don't know. I was feeling like really peaceful when I wrote "Stay" and really in
Yeah.
love, and
Yeah.
I just started strumming these like chords. It was a different song that I had written, but I just was just strumming them way slower and just throwing them in a different order. And the first thing that came to my mind is just like waking up in the afternoon. I can get used to this because it's just like such a simple thing. It's just like we woke up super late in the afternoon,
Yeah.
just to the sun or whatever coming up, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Kind of gives you that feeling back when you write it out and when you sing it again, I guess, right?
yeah. And then it's like halfway through the song, you're like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm writing a song about, and this is what the
Yeah.
feeling of the song is.
Yeah.
And if I need to adjust things after that, it's like, okay, this song's about this. Let's go back and change these few words so that it all makes sense together.
Yeah.
That's usually my process. It's a little bit different and it's a little bit more rough than some other people's, but it's been working for me.
Yeah, and it's always different depending on who you talk to. So, when you have a debut album that you're putting together and that's going to be coming out soon, what's that process been like for you? Because before you were playing probably just more, go play somewhere and do that kind of stuff. Now you're obviously putting something together that's your own, exciting, but probably, nerve-wracking at the same time. What's that like?
Yeah, it's been stressful. It's a lot of work, a lot of money,
Yeah.
but it's really fun. Like really, really fun. I love making music. Like that, the actual production and recording is actually one of the most fun parts. It's stressful. You got to get it right,
Yeah.
but once you have it, and it's like you think that it's gonna get to this level, and then you add like a couple instruments, and it gets to this level, and it just goes above your expectations. It's beautiful. We had some producers on it, and we actually did some of them on our own. So like Stay, we just rented a couple mics from Long McQuaid and brought
Yeah.
them in my basement. We made like a home studio in my basement. That's where we're recording most of the songs, and then getting them paid to be professionally mixed and mastered.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, like studios are overrated nowadays. Just rent a nice mic, make your own studio, and I mean, especially the kind of music I want to make, like that's how they're doing it nowadays. So
Yeah.
and it's just a bunch of friends, and like
Yeah.
it's my brother and a bunch of his friends in the band, and it's just like a real genuine connection, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the music is meant to be a little more raw and there's not as much kind of
Yeah.
production to it in the same way, right? So,
Yeah, exactly. Like I
yeah.
have nothing against pop music, but I'm not trying to make pop music by any means. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
make stuff, but like that's similar to the stuff that I listen to, and that's how that's done. So, you know.
Yeah. You mentioned that you listen to like Tyler Childers and Zach Bryan and things like that that are kind of people that you look up to from that end. They've also changed country and country folk kind of music lately because it's become so songwriter focused and really authentic and stripped down, that kind of thing. Why do you think that has changed most recently? What is it that's appealing about that, do you think, to the audience?
Um, well, I think most recently is the AI thing
Yeah.
is the biggest thing I think because it's like AI is just making melodies that are like super catchy, but they're also super simple and
Hmm.
they're not really outside the box and
Yeah.
everything is perfect, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you have super polished um, pop production on a song that is like perfect and it's like catchy, but it's also like just like simple and like kind of like a carbon copy of like other pop songs,
Yep.
it could start to feel like it may be AI generated. Um, so I think people are leaning more into this like raw thing because they want something that's human and they want something that's raw and they want something that cannot be replicated by AI.
Yeah.
So I mean, even in like the more pop world, I know an artist I like, Gabriella Rose. She's a country artist and she's got a song with Zach Bryan that's mainly just like a folk country tune.
Yep.
But then she just released her debut album, and it is weird, but like good weird, like
Yeah.
something that AI could not replicate. But it's like pop country mixed with like R&B, mixed with folk, and like all these like Phoebe Bridgers, Frank Ocean, all these like weird vibes. But it's
Yeah.
like it's cool though, because it's like I've never heard something like that in my life. And I think that's what people are attracted to. Something that just sounds unique. It doesn't need to be, because that song is really, those songs are produced, like
Yeah.
not underproduced, not raw,
Yeah.
but they're just different and unique. And I think that's what people are looking towards. And that's
Yeah.
what I want to do with this album is try to make something that's uniquely myself, not even
Yeah.
copy Zach Bryan or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a great way to look at it too, because I mean, as you said before, people can kind of copy that style, and that works for a while, but eventually, it will peter out. And this is a way of kind of keeping yourself at the forefront by being an artist that way too. So,
Yeah.
um, so for you, you again are. I mean, you go to school during the school year. You have all of the stuff that you're doing and different performances, and then obviously you're going to be supporting your own album and things like that. Um, at your age, I mean, how hard is that to balance things where you still spend time with your friends, you still spend time doing your schooling that you're finishing and all of those things. How do you balance that? Is that difficult?
It's really difficult. I mean, like right now, not as much, but a couple months ago when I was like in the midst of exams and writing essays and also releasing a new song, like that's when I put out the song Thrift Store Dress. And it's like I'm releasing a song, trying to promote this song, trying to study for exams, trying to write essays all at the same time. It got like really, 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 really stressful. But then I'm like, it paid off because then it's like now I had like a couple weeks where I like didn't have really anything to like reset the mind a little bit and
Yeah.
but I mean, other than exam periods, it wasn't too bad. I mean, seeing my friends, oh yeah, like I used to see them every day at school, and now it's more like on the weekends or once every 2 weeks or something like that. So that kind of sucks. Um, but you know, you find time for it, and when you do, you make it fun.
Yeah, 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 and I mean, from that, I mean, we talked about that you kind of every once in a while, get up to cottage country, do some cottage stuff and everything too. What is your like if you are sitting around a campfire, are you the person who like do you play around the campfire? Do you do that kind of stuff? And if you do, what is it you like to hear, like to play yourself around that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, out in cottage country, I love to play a lot of Tragically Hip around the
Yeah,
campfire, a
yeah,
lot of other acoustic stuff. And I mean, if it's just like me and a bunch of friends who don't really play music, I'm the guy who's usually got the guitar out or whatever, but I'm not playing as much as I probably would with my musical friends. I mean, because they're not as interested in music as I am, but yeah, to get the vibes going, I play that. And then this weekend when I was in Bancroft, near Bancroft, I was with one of my musical buddies, Harry, and I don't do much co-writing, but I co-write with him, and we've got very similar vibes.
Yeah.
So we were up just like writing songs and stuff. So we just had the guitars out the whole weekend, like never put them away, and that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and a good kind of atmosphere for it too, I would assume. I mean, it's a nice, relaxed kind of time to be able to do it, but it can be inspiring, I would assume, at the same time, being able to do it like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I know lots of people who like go into like a basement and write, and I mean that's good sometimes. But like if you're trying to write like a fun summer tune and not like a depressing tune like I did or whatever in my basement, uh, you gotta like be in an atmosphere to write something like that, you know? I mean, I
Yeah.
heard this quote by Hank Williams Jr. or something. He was like, "Oh yeah, when I'm writing, I'm just like, I'm fishing. I'm like thinking, oh yeah, there's a song, there's a line, and it's just
Yeah.
while he's fishing or whatever, right? And it's like, yeah, you gotta do the things, you gotta live the things to get the inspiration. It's so much easier to write songs about summer in the
Yeah.
summer, and it's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
easier to write depressing songs in the winter, you know?
Right, right. It's not forced too, right? It's like you said, where it's okay, you take the theme and write the song. It's a little bit different when you're in that atmosphere and can kind of,
Oh yeah,
do that as well. Um,
yeah.
so a couple of things, if you're, which do you prefer, I guess, now that you've played really big places and you played smaller places and what it's probably hard to find which one because I'm sure it's very different vibes, but when is there one that you prefer, like do you like a small kind of intimate kind of thing or something larger?
In terms of venues, I like a small room that's like packed with people who are genuinely listening.
Yeah.
Like that is beautiful, rather than like a room full of like 2,000 people where like, you know, 200 of them are listening. I would
Yeah.
rather a room of 200 people where 200 of them are listening.
Yeah.
It's way better in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, and you can definitely play off the audience and everything too with that. So
Yeah.
um favorite country artist of all time or favorite artist? I mean, it doesn't have to be country. Which do you have one?
It's hard. I don't know if I'd say favorite, but I might have to say best is Tyler Childers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot would say
Like,
that. So,
mine. Yeah.
so is he? If you have maybe now, do you have an artist that's on repeat for you? Like, do you have somebody
Ooh.
that you listen to all the time right now?
I'm really into a Canadian folk band called O.C. Elliott. They're a duo
Yeah.
from Vancouver Island.
Hmm.
Uh, Childers a ton, and then actually probably my favorite band is band's called Camp with
Oh,
two A's
really?
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
they're
right. Wow.
they're really good. You should check them out. I
Yeah,
think you
we'll
like.
check that out for sure.
Yeah.
And summer activity you like to do if you're not playing music?
Ooh, uh, having a beer on the beach is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Well, and the
or
next
just going
question
to a
would be,
cottage
okay,
and
yeah, are you a fishing person or are you sit on the dock with a beer kind of person?
sit on the dock with a beer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so again, people are looking to you. You've got debut album coming up. You've got other places that you're playing. I know we mentioned before we came on here that you're actually coming to my hometown in Bowmanville fairly soon. I know you're doing a small intimate thing there, and I hope to see you there. What are some of the things that are coming up? And if people are trying to follow you and see where you're going to be appearing and hear some of your new music that you're releasing, what's the best way to do that, Lucas?
Yeah, so I have a website, lucasmasonmusic.com, where if you go, it'll show you like where I'm all playing this summer.
Yeah.
And then my Instagram, lucasmason.music, same with TikTok, is the same thing. And I'm posting on there about shows, about new music, all that stuff. And if you really, really want to get connected, I have this super fan chat on Instagram. It's just like a more like personal thing where I'm just sending out messages and sending like exclusive early songs, demos, all that kind of stuff. It's called the Campfire, and you
Oh,
can just
cool.
join it on my Instagram for free. And
Yep.
I'm just doing yeah, any like if you want like really up to date news, join that thing, and yeah, you'll get it for sure.
All right. We'll put in the show notes. We'll put all the links in there for people too. So if you didn't get it, just we'll do that. For anyone listening, if you haven't hit subscribe in the podcast, do that now. We have great people like Lucas every week. And again, super busy, I'm sure, right now. So thanks very much for taking the time with us, Lucas. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. And everybody else, make sure you check out Lucas's music and make sure you subscribe to all his stuff and follow him because he's got some great stuff going on this summer and go out and check them out if you can. And everybody else, we will talk again soon on Boats, Beers, and Backroads.